Hi there, good morning to you and welcome to Newsroom here on GHOne TV. My name is Mohammed. Coming up in 60 minutes comprehensively, these are some stories to expect. Special voting to take place on December 2 as the Electoral Commission announces modalities to journalists and security service personnel. Also coming up, deaf women decry sidelining in communication on menstrual hygiene as Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark World Menstrual Hygiene Day. Ahead in business, government urged to intensify partnership with the private sector. Meanwhile, CEO of the EIB network, Nathan Kwabnanochi Edisi Bolare, wins coveted award for excellence leadership in media at the Ghana CEO Summit held yesterday. Hello again. Once again, I am Mohammed. We begin this bulletin on a special focus on election 2024 as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, GHOne, has disclosed that a 2024 special voting exercise will take place on 2nd December 2024. Addressing a stakeholder engagement with members of the Ghana Journalists Association and the Security Service, GHOne hinted that a compilation of the special voting will begin on the 17th of June to the 1st of July and called on qualified security personnel and members of the media who play a key role on the day of elections to apply.
Voting exercise. The special voting exercise is a process that enables registered voters who are assigned specific duties on election day vote ahead of the main election day. Regulation 23(1) of CI 127 states that a voter may apply to the returning officer of the constituency in which the voter is registered to be entered as a special voter if, as a result of election duties, that voter will not be able to be present at the polling station where the voter registered on the day of the election. In Ghana, such category of voters is regulated and limited to officers of the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, the Immigration, the Fire Service, Customs, and the Prison Service, as well as the polling officials of the Electoral Commission and permanent staff of the Electoral Commission, not forgetting our media partners who will carry out important functions on election day. The special voting will take place on the second Monday, the 2nd of December 2024, and it will be in all 276 constituency centers across the country. I'd like to mention again that the special voting will take place on Monday, the 2nd of December 2024, in all 276 constituency centers across the country.
And now to the ongoing limited voter registration exercise. So we turn attention to the voter region. The NDC in that region has raised concerns about what they call the dumping of police officers at the various registration centers in the last few days of the ongoing limited voter registration exercise. According to the party, some registration centers in the region have received more than 20 police officers lately, creating fear among applicants. Regional chairman of the party, Mauto Agbavito, during a media engagement in Ho, is demanding answers from the police hierarchy.
Has expressed satisfaction about the registration process thus far. But Mauto Agbavito, the party's regional chairman, is accusing the MPP in the region of a deliberate plot to prevent several Ghanaians from acquiring the voter's ID by challenging almost every applicant that turns up at the registration centers, among other covert status.
The police were more than the people who were there to register. So it was quite a bit, we're questioning why they should send this number of policemen. Was it meant to intimidate people? Was it meant to prevent people from getting on the voter roll? Those were the questions we asked, and still we haven't had answers. But the police were at all the centers recording activities. Anybody who goes there, they use their body cams to record and they use phones to record openly. So maybe the police administration must explain to us why our voting centers have been inundated with this number of policemen. Yes, have been inundated with this number of policemen and personnel.
In the Catching North constituency, for instance, 21 out of 53 persons who registered on Saturday were challenged. Similarly, 32 out of 69 persons who registered on Sunday had their cards withheld pending a decision from the District Review Committee, which the NDC finds alarming and deliberate. Regardless of these challenges, the NDC in the Volta region says it is determined to hit its targets set for this particular registration exercise. For GHOne News, Faisal Abdulidrisu.
Now, the Electoral Commission has begun a 2-day extension for the limited voter registration exercise to give qualified applicants who missed out on the 20-day window to register for their voter ID cards. This comes following demands by some political parties, particularly the NDC and the New Force, due to earlier challenges encountered with the online registration. But the EC says the extension is crucial for accommodating eligible voters who are yet to register to do so and participate in the upcoming December polls. Let's head the regions and find out how it's going so far. We first off check with the Ashanti region as my colleague Isaac Justice Bediako is standing by. Isaac, where are you currently in the Ashanti region and what can you report? Are people coming in to register?
Yeah, so Lily, currently I'm stationed at Swami. Freeman Methodist Guest House, that is where Swami constituency, the limited voter registration exercise is ongoing. And as you can see from the background, the place is not busy as it used to be some weeks ago. Currently, very few people are in queue to go through the registration exercise. And what I have been told is that the MPP and the NDC agency here tells me that they are satisfied with the process so far because they've registered over 3,000 people in this particular constituency. And so the numbers is very encouraging. However, they believe that when the EC gave them another opportunity somewhere in November for the mop-up to be done, they believe that they will be able to get more people to also join them because of the earlier on the challenges that they had. And as a result of that, majority of the target group, that is those who have now reached 18 years, have gone back to senior high schools to go and continue their education there. And so those were the lethal challenge that they have. But the NDC MPPs described the exercise as very satisfactory for now. So we are still here monitoring proceedings and the exercise as is going on here. But of course, assembly members in this particular constituency are also very busy working day and night to get numbers of people to come and do the registration for their respective parties. And so we have the assembly member for Nkonchuma, right? Yes, and he's here. He brought some of the people to come and register here. Today, I'm here look like more like the holiday for the officers here because there's no pressure here. What do you think has accounted for that?
Yeah, good morning. Once again, my name is Honorable Peter Oche, and Nkonchuma Electoral Area Assembly Member. Yes, you can see here is like a holiday to the officials, all because I believe that when they started, the secondary school gave those 18 years to come and register, and they've returned to their schools. That's why the pressure has gone down. So I believe that it's because of the GHS students who have returned to their schools that has made here holiday to the officials. Yeah.
You have been going through your electoral area trying to get people who have now turned 18 years to come and do the registration exercise. Do you still have more there?
Actually, I do have few, very few, and I think 1 out of 10 for those who can register. For now, I can say 1 out of 10. Almost those who are eligible to vote or to register, they've already done that. So for now, there are very few, 1 out of 10 to come and
The issue of people that you bring, some of them, when they come here, they struggle to even mention their name. And we are told that a number of them have also been challenged. So today, the dispute committee is its meeting for them to resolve these issues. Why don't you teach them before they come here?
Actually, for my electoral area, I haven't confronted with any of such issues that you are saying. Those that I brought, they are already 18 or above 18, so they know their left from right. And the issue that you are talking about for my area, I haven't seen any of that.
So you mean that those who are not up to 18 years, they are the ones who are having challenge in trying to convince them that indeed they are 18 years?
I can't specifically say that.
Thank you very much. So we have the NDC's agent for Swami. All right, what's your name?
I'm Al Hassan Fairouz.
You have been here from day one up to now. We have just a day to end the exercise. Are you satisfied with the process so far?
Yes, I'm really satisfied with the process. What's happening now is very good. I've seen the number of registrations we've done so far is very good for my listening.
For you, the NDC.
Yes.
So you do not have any issue with the exercise. Now, the exercise is ending tomorrow.
Yes.
Do you think that the EC should give you additional time for the mop-up to take place?
For the mop-up, okay. I think it's okay for what's happening now, because the number of challenges we are receiving as an NDC agent, I'm seeing is increased a lot. So I think as at now, once the students have even left the system to campus, registrations has been low. The number of registrants we are having are declining now. So I think mopping up will still be a waste of time.
I see.
So that's
today. How many people have you been able to register?
We've registered almost 47 people as at now.
Meaning that still you still get significant number if it continues.
Okay, I can't really tell though, because as on the grounds, everywhere you go, everyone has been registered already. Well, that's what they always tell us.
So that's
they already registered. So I think we're not going to get anyone to even come into.
So that's the NDC agent here explaining to us what the situation is. But like I told you earlier on, the NDC and MPP and the EC for Swami Municipal are currently in a meeting trying to resolve some challenging issues that came in their way. And what they are doing is that he who alleges must prove beyond any reasonable doubt. So
absolutely. Thank you very much, Isaac. That's Ashanti Regional Correspondent Isaac Justice Bediako. Let's move up north to the Upper West region. Robert Digma is our man on the ground. Robert, what's your assessment of the extension like? The Ashanti region, we've seen minimal numbers. Is that same in the Upper West as well?
I'm here as I am currently at the registration center where it's virtually empty. As you can see, the registration officers are having a field day at the moment from looked on the screen. You can see that they are ideal. The number of people that as at today, they had registered over 40 people as at 10:15 when I was here earlier to make inquiries, but a few people have soon also walked in to have their names captured. And as you can see, it's just a free day. When I spoke to one of the agents, the NDC agent as well, he made it clear that for him, he thinks that the exercise extension tomorrow, he's not sure if people will most likely turn out in their numbers like the beginning. He said it was the first day they faced some challenges with the network, but later it was resolved. And since then, it's been smooth throughout. It's been very smooth throughout.
Okay, Robert. Thank you very much for that update. So that's Robert Digme from the Upper West region. Let's check out other regions as well. Faisal Abdul-Idrisu is in the Volta region. Faisal, what can you report this time? Is the situation same in your area? Hello, Faisal, can you hear me? Faisal, can you unmute for me?
Lily, are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very audibly
Good.
now. So I was asking
Good.
if the situation across the various regions, we've seen in the Ashanti region, we've seen in the Upper West region, voter turnout or registrant turnout is very low. Is that same wherever you are?
Well, not the same case across all centers I visited. Earlier this morning, I started from a catching off yesterday, for instance. And then since Saturday, the reports I got before I went was the fact that in these very last few days, the numbers at the centers are rather overwhelming. So yesterday I was in a catching off, and it was the case that several people are now turning up at the registration center and are not able to register because the numbers are simply overwhelming. So when the day ends, they ask them to come the next day. So for instance, yesterday, more than 60 people were turned away to return early this morning. Before I left catching off this morning, I visited the center, and the numbers there this morning already were more than 100 people at the center. I got to Ketu North, and the situation is different. In Ketu North, the center was virtually empty. Then I moved on to Ketu South, where I'm currently speaking to you from. The situation here is not as complex and as dire as what we have in catching off, but a number of people are still turning up at the registration center, even here in Ketu South, to get themselves onto the electoral roll. The only issue that is confronting the registration is the fact that in the last few days, the number of people who are being challenged has increased largely. In catching off, for instance, on Saturday, more than 53 persons were registered, but out of that number, 23 persons were challenged. On Sunday, 69 people registered in catching off, but of course, 32 persons in that number were challenged. When I arrived in Ketu earlier this morning, I am told that they have seen a significant increase in the number of persons that are being challenged over the last few days. And so that is the only challenge with them. The NDC, as a party, has expressed their satisfaction with the process thus far. I've spoken to other stakeholders who say that they are okay with the process. The only problem that remains is the collaboration between the two political parties, the major ones, the MPP and the NDC, which has to do with how people are being challenged, nationality is being questioned. But the NDC remains optimistic that at the end of the day, they will be able to hit the targets they set for this particular registration. They maintain that the number of people that are being challenged, even when they get to the DRCC, they would be giving their cards because they are pretty sure and confident that the people they brought to the centers are Ghanaians, are resident, and are eligible to get themselves onto the voters register. And so they are not perturbed by the recent approach by the MPP challenging these applicants. So these are the basic issues with the registration in the voter region. Very smooth. There is also the issue of police officers at the centers. Yes, the last few days we've seen that, but yesterday and today, I have realized that the numbers have equally reduced in terms of police officers at the centers. What I saw days back is not the case any longer at the centers, Lily.
All right, Faisal, thank you very much. Keep monitoring. We'll come to you subsequently. Let's move on. What was meant to be a forum for chief executive officers to share ideas on the way forward for their businesses turned to a political battle as the two lead contenders in the 2024 elections took turns to jab each other, while the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, who was the keynote speaker at the CEO Summit, accused the government of superintending over a collapsed economy. His main contender, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, accused him of being oblivious of the economic achievements of the NPP. Calvin Powell has more.
Addressing CEOs of various organizations as the keynote speaker, the flag bearer of the opposition NDC, John Dramani Mahama, accused the government of superintending over a bankrupt and a collapsed economy.
Today we stand at a critical and troubling crossroads. Our beloved country, Ghana, has become a bankrupt, collapsed economy due to poor leadership of almost 8 years. This leadership has failed Ghanaians and yet refuses to accept or even take responsibility for the most reckless management of our economy known in previous history. This has plunged our nation into an unprecedented economic crisis and is reported to have pushed more than 800,000 of our fellow citizens below the poverty line. Unemployment has jumped to 14.7% from 8.5% in 2017.
In what seems to be a subtle response to Mohammed's comments, Vice President Dr. Mohammed Baumia, who spoke via Zoom, wonders if his main contender has just descended from a different planet into the country and therefore is oblivious to the tremendous economic achievements by the NPP government.
When you listen to him, somehow you may be forgiven for thinking he has just landed from Mars, because he has been a former president before. He has managed this country. He's been vice president before. And when he was managing this country, there was no global crisis. Agricultural productivity declined. GDP growth in agriculture was very, very low. Industrial growth, because of doomsday, also collapsed. And they had to cancel teacher training allowances. They couldn't pay. They had to cancel nursing training allowances. They couldn't pay. They had a 3-month paid policy for teachers for working for 3 years and be paid for 3 months. Chalk in school was a problem. Many parents were not able to educate their children.
As the electioneering campaign enters a full swing, the debate of who is a better manager of the Ghanaian economy will take a center stage from all quarters of political actors in the bid to compel the electorate to gravitate towards. The battle line has tentatively been drawn, and the end will definitely justify the means.
Let's take a quick dash to our courts, where scores of people are trooping in the Financial and Economic Division of the High Court in Accra ahead of the hearing of the trial of Minority Leader Dr. Kasiel Ato-Forson. The former Deputy Minister for Finance, together with businessman Richard Jakpa, are standing trial for allegedly causing financial loss to the state to the tune of 2.37 million euros. Richard Jakpa, who stirred controversy over the week by accusing the Attorney General of meeting him at odd hours to implicate the minority, is expected in court. EIB Network's legal affairs correspondent Mutala Inusa joins us with live detail. Mutala, we understand that former Attorney General Marietta Buapio-Pong and others have arrived. How true is this? Update us.
Well, Lily, as anticipated, rightly so, the numbers have actually gathered here at the court. What I can tell you now is that if you come to the law court complex here, the former Attorney General Marietta Buapio-Pong has arrived. Lawyers of Dr. Kasiel Ato-Forson, led by Dr. Aziz Bamba, has also arrived. ADG Tamakru, the Director of Election, Director of Legal Affairs, has also arrived. I must also put on record that Mr. Richard Jakpa, the businessman and the third accused person, has also arrived before the court, the Financial and Economic Division of the Accra High Court. Before I came out to talk to you now, the courtroom is virtually full to capacity. Lawyers have arrived. I have also seen lawyers of the former lawyer of Mr. Richard Jakpa, Dr. Tony Obin, has also arrived. Then there are some parliamentarians who have also taken seat. Government Agboja has also taken his seat, and then some known faces of the NDC have also taken their seats at the Financial and Economic Division ahead of the 12 o'clock hearing. And just to put you to perspective of what we expect to happen is that Mr. Richard Jakpa, who is the businessman and the third accused person here, is expected to face the concluding part of cross-examination from lawyers of Dr. Kasiel Ato-Forson, led by Dr. Abdul Aziz Bamba. And that when that is done, the indication or as per the case management completion plan that the parties had before the cross-examination started, lawyers of Dr. Kasiel Ato-Forson indicated that they will need 6 hours. Already, they have done with 4 hours. So the remaining 2 hours, it is what is expected today to be concluded. Before coming up I didn't see the Attorney General or the prosecution, any member of the prosecution yet, but I am sure that by now they must have arrived because the case was fixed for 12 o'clock. Just to give you some perspective also, this very case started, prosecution closed their case. They called 4 witnesses, including the former Minister for Health, Kweku Ajiman Menu. He came in to testify. Dr. Kasiel Atuforsin, who is currently the minority leader, also closed his case after calling witnesses, including Mr. Setekpe, his former boss, the former Minister for Finance, Mr. Alex Mood, former CEO of GNPC, also came to court to testify before he finally closed his case. Now it is the turn of Mr. Richard Jakpa, who has also indicated that he has witnesses to call. Today will be the last day for lawyers of Dr. Kasiel Atuforsin to subject him to cross-examination, and so that will happen. So I can also see just behind me, you can see the communications officer of the NDC, Sami Jefi, just taking his way into the court premises. So if you come here at the law court complex, as what I can tell you is that the atmosphere, as predicted, has been very, very charged. The courtroom was almost full to capacity, and we are waiting for 12 o'clock for that case to be called. This is the first time that Mr. Richard Jakpa, or the businessman, is making his way into the court after making the allegations that the Attorney General have tried on several occasions to meet him at all hours, call him at all times, and all that. So today, after that, there's been a lot of controversy, a lot of publications that we have seen coming from the other end of the party. So today, as at 12 o'clock, we'll know what will happen when this case is officially called before Justice Efia Sewa Asari Butri.
Now, Motola, can you tell us the mood as the first accused and third accused arrived? Okay, so unfortunately he couldn't hear my last question, but Motola will come to us subsequently with more on this. Today is World Menstrual Hygiene Day. Schoolgirls in rural communities resort to rags when they menstruate. The over-reliance on used clothes and other unhealthy materials has been attributed to poverty. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to commemorate Menstrual Hygiene Day, we bring back this report on how girls in rural areas largely face discrimination during their period.
Most girls start to menstruate between ages 10 and 15. Every girl's body has its own schedule, but for many girls in rural Ghana, crossing into puberty marks the beginning of pain and shame. Fathers ignore and mistreat their daughters, most of whom miss school for a number of days every month because they either cannot afford or lack access to sanitary pads. That is the devastating reality for girls in several communities in Ghana's Upper East region.
So this is how I always do it. And I'll do like this. So when I finish, I know now.
This is to conceal the monthly flow of blood, a natural cycle considered impure and unclean in communities such as this one. It is not difficult to guess why menstruation is not talked about. 15-year-old Ernestina Tule has been living with her father and grandmother for almost 4 years. Her mother quit the marriage due to frequent maltreatment from her husband each time she menstruates.
Yes, if you even told him, he always said that he's not caring about it. Even that himself, he doesn't want to see it.
Why?
I don't know. Even when we were in Kumasi, that he built my mother bathroom for her, and she too is having his bathroom, all because of when she gets menses. Even if she gets menses and cook for him, he will not even eat.
Ernestina's father confirmed his disgust for menstruation.
Be an Sabbath near moon, first I may want me to me, Jordan, may sit down best and no may yard, John one chair.
I can't use the same bathroom with a woman menstruating. I just hate it. And if I even eat food prepared by a woman in her period, I'll vomit.
Ernestina's situation is a double whammy. She does not only deal with her father's disgust, but faces a bigger challenge in school. She misses school for at least 2 days during her 4-day menstrual period because she cannot afford the luxury of using a sanitary pad. During examinations, she juggles between school and home to change and wash her rags.
I always change it. I'm having about 3 of them. If I get up in the afternoon like this, I will get up and go and bath and wash the other one. When I bath finish, I will go and change the other one. In the evening time, I'll wash that one and change the other one.
Teachers in the Kandiga MA school say it is a worrying situation, but there is little they can do about it.
My class, some of them, you see, maybe getting to 24, 20, some of them will not come to school. If you ask and say I was in my menstrual period, so I don't have pad, I don't have this. So due to that, they will not come to school. So unless if you have something, you just give it to the child to help the child. So it's a problem for some of the teachers.
Does that affect them academically?
Yeah, some of them. Because the person will be absent from school, definitely it will affect the child.
Girls in Kandiga are not the only ones caught up in this menstrual hygiene mismanagement web. Many other young schoolgirls in Kansogu, a town in the Boku West district, resort to rags. This is mainly because they cannot afford to buy sanitary pads that sell at 3 cedis or less.
There's no money to buy. My mother told me, if he told me that, oh, there's no money, so we'll use that one.
I always feel bad. I feel bad. So me, I don't know tomorrow what will happen to me. Because school, if I sit and eat, came into my uniform, our school children will know, so they will laugh at me.
For teachers in Kansogu, it would be of great help if schools were given sanitary pads periodically to ensure menstrual hygiene.
Some always complain of getting money to buy pads. You know, some parents too, it's like the way they don't educate them how to use those things, they are not aware of it. To me, what I think will help is about the pad. Like, we the teachers, we can provide the pad to them always. So if we could get that help from anywhere, that will always help, or from government, that they always provide us with the pad, or always give it to them. That can also help.
As we commemorate this day, we ask, should sanitary pads be made free to girls in schools across the country? Nanama, quite standing by with your thoughts and comments on this. Nanama, what are people saying?
Well, it's quite a topic, Lily, because this affects like every woman. Absolutely. Yeah. So we asked whether, as government give textbooks free of charge, should sanitary pads also be given to girls in deprived areas? Now, when we go to Facebook, Rufus says these free things is not helping the country. Let's think about putting the system in place to make citizens capable of providing their own basic needs. Then Samuel adds, including those at home, they are Ghanaians too. We also have Linda, not only deprived, she says all schools. Ivana also says the government should reduce the tax so that everyone can afford it. Charles also says it's not an achievement, but their duty to provide it to the schools. Musa says a big yes, because it's not easy out there, indeed. Then Senanu says, yes, it's even overdue. When we move over to X, we have here, the first question should be whether the government has actually provided textbooks to schools. Jacob says, why limit it to deprived communities when you can extend it to all? Then we have here Abubakar, in my first term as president, are you going for president, Abubakar? Sanitary pads will be free for all girls in schools, including tertiary students. Sanitary pads are equally a necessity to girls, just like oxygen to mammals. Power to the people. We have Nana Ajimai who says, that's how poor the country is. What happened to NHIS, he's asking. They take premiums yearly and provide no service for it in times of need. Well, this is what we have time for. Continue to send us your messages on our social media handles at GHOne TV. My name is Nanama Aqua. Lily, this is such a very important topic.
I agree.
What are your thoughts?
For the provision of free sanitary pads to schools that parents can afford, I say no. But for peri-urban communities and rural areas, I say that it should be made free. Thank you very much, Nanama, for those thoughts and comments. We take a quick break. When we return, we have more for you here on Newsroom. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. This is Newsroom here on GHOne TV. My name is Lily Mohammed. Let's still stay on the observation of Menstrual Hygiene Day. Hearing impaired persons have raised concerns on the exclusion they often face in discussions and policies surrounding menstrual hygiene in Ghana. The marginalized group laments significant challenges like stigma and the lack of sign language interpreters in schools for young girls with hearing impairment. GHOne's Awisi Dede Jange sits with some persons with disability as they talk about their struggles in accessing period education and sanitary towels.
Menstrual Hygiene Day, observed annually on May 28, aims to break the stigma surrounding menstruation and advocate for better access to menstrual products, period education, and sanitary facilities for all women and girls. But is that the case in Ghana?
We're using cloths. Sometimes, unfortunately, when it happens in school, then if there's no cloths to use, then I'll have to come back home. So that was the situation, that was the struggle. And there are so many times where I was embarrassed because it happened in school, it happened in places where people didn't want to come close to me. Even some of the men wouldn't even want to talk to you at all. That made me feel very, very bad growing up. Okay. There are two women in my family. That is myself, my mom. If there's any issues on menstrual hygiene, anything on sexual reproductive health that goes on TV, honestly, I've missed a lot because on TV, no interpreters, no subtitles, nothing. So it's only the hearing community that benefits. For me, we just watch TV and we only see people moving. We don't get to get the information that is being channeled out.
The struggles of the national president of Ghana National Association of the Deaf, Christiana, and the secretary for the association, Mabel Ej, depict a picture of a sad discrimination against persons with hearing impairment in Ghana. The association believes developing educational materials and investing in sign language to cater for different disabilities will ensure that menstrual health education is accessible to all.
I will insist that for the Ministry of Health, the health services, every time they are putting those informations out, please, they should add sign language interpreters or subtitles because deaf women are missing a lot. The communication barrier is huge. We don't have access to communication. We don't have access to so many things. And because of that, it's affecting our deaf women a lot in Ghana. So if they can bridge that communication, especially those who are out of school, those who can even write, even we who can read and write, look at our challenges. How much more those who even cannot write, those who have not even been to school. Yes, it's even double what we are going through.
However, a non-governmental organization, World Vision, which focuses on child welfare, also lamented the existence of lingering period poverty in some part of the country. Disclosing some initiatives put in place to aid young girls in their period journey, technical manager in charge of health and nutrition, Irabuna Kweiba Dazi, believes government can do more to eradicate the canker.
Introduction of beads, where we use the innovative beads to educate girls on how to calculate their cycle. The 28-day cycle is shown on the beads, and so the girls calculate based on the beads. Now, what this does is, number one, it helps the girls to be aware of when their next menstrual cycle is, so that they are not caught unawares in the school soiling themselves and being embarrassed or being disgraced. Menstrual poverty is real. and menstrual poverty is going on so much that it's impacting negatively on the lives of vulnerable girls. And so as a country, we need to take off the tax that is on sanitary pads. And I believe you yourself, you smile.
The theme for the 2024 Menstrual Hygiene Day is #period-friendly world. But is Ghana really a period-friendly world? For GHOne News, Awisi Dede Jange.
It's now time for the business brief. The Bank of Ghana has assigned its task force to monitor the activities of all foreign exchange bureaus to ensure compliance with the bank's regulatory framework aimed at addressing the cedi depreciation. According to the central bank, it is fully aware of activities of illegal forex exchange operators working with the Financial Intelligence Center to sanitize the sector. There is more in the following report.
The Bank of Ghana, during its 118th Monetary Policy Committee meeting, explained that in order to deal with the high demand pressures on the foreign exchange market, it has taken steps in the last few weeks to directly absorb foreign exchange needs of the business community. Addressing the media in Accra, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, disclosed that the central bank has deployed a task force to monitor all forex bureaus to ensure compliance.
Foreign Exchange Bureau monitoring will be stepped up to ensure compliance with their regulatory framework. In line with this, all foreign exchange bureaus advertising rates outside their premises and on social media platforms must immediately desist from the practice. The bank has set up a task force to monitor all the foreign exchange bureaus to ensure compliance. The foreign exchange market is also affected by sentiments and pronouncements made in this election year, and we urge all to manage pronouncements which weakens confidence in the local economy.
The governor explained that the committee maintained the policy rates in order to curb inflation in the country.
The latest forecast shows a slightly elevated inflation profile on account of recent exchange rate pressures and adjustments in transportation fares. However, the projections show that inflation will remain within the monetary policy consultation clause of 13 to 17% at the end of the year. These forecasts are contingent on sustaining the tight monetary policy stance, including aggressive liquidity management operations. Given these considerations, the committee decided to maintain the monetary policy rate at 29%.
However, the Bank of Ghana explained that on the general macroeconomic conditions, the committee was of the view that while implementation of policies at the macro and structural reform level are consistent and align well with the tenets of the IMF-supported program, there is the need to ensure that the recent depreciation of the currency does not become embedded into the pricing behavior of businesses and on inflation expectations.
Now, the leader of the largest opposition party, the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, has made a passionate appeal to the investor community, especially foreign entities, to reconsider their decisions to exit the business space over the recent economic turbulence. He is assuring business entities of a turnaround of the prevailing conditions when voted into power, as his government will leverage on the 24-hour economy policy, flexible tax regime, among others, to stabilize and improve the economy.
I'm deeply committed to fostering business growth and economic prosperity in Ghana. And that is why I've announced that I'll chair an accelerated export development program, which will work to expand our exports and take full advantage of the expanded market access afforded by the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme and the African Continental Free Trade Area. Under this program, existing companies in Ghana will be engaged to modernize their operations and bolster productivity, and thereby stimulating growth in adjacent sectors by incubating new enterprises within Ghana.
That's it for the business brief. It's now time for the sports update. Monica Bukhari is standing by. Monica, what's up in sports?
Lily,
after my team is near relegation, please.
Accra has to fall, right?
Don't remind me.
You are 2 points dropping into the relegation zone. Anyway, it's the national team this time, and it's also a jollof derby with our sister country, Nigeria. The Black Starlets will be looking forward to secure at least a bronze medal against them in the WAFU Zone B Under-17 Championship. I've got details of this plus other stories making headlines in the world of sports, so do stay. The Black Starlets will this afternoon cross swords with the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria in the third place playoff of the 2024 WAFU Zone B Under-17 Championship. Now, speaking ahead of the game, Ghana's coach Nana Adjeman is optimistic his boys will fight for the bronze medal. Meanwhile, President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreko, has visited the team ahead of the game to inspire the team as they vie for the third-place playoff with Nigeria in this afternoon. Deputy coach of the side, Nana Adjeman, was immediately tasked to lead the technical team in the absence of Lai Kensen, who announced his resignation on Saturday after Ghana's 2-1 defeat to Burkina Faso. President Kurt Okreko called on the team to lift themselves up for the game. Now, he mentioned to the team not to depart from how they have been taught to play. And also, he mentioned that the GFA president disclosed to the teams the FA has put in place to move them a step ahead to the under-18 to continue with their progress development. And that does it for sport. But for more, kindly join us at 1 p.m. here on GHOne TV and, of course, Star FM. My name is Monica Bukhari. Back to you, Lily.
Thank you very much, Monica Bukhari, for that sports update. Let's head to the entertainment zone, shall we? Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the EIB Network, Ghana Limited, Nathan Kwabena Edisi, popularly known as Bolare, has been awarded the coveted CEO Excellence Award for his sterling leadership in the media. The award scheme, which is the highest of its kind in the corporate Ghana, seeks to honor distinguished CEOs from the public and private sectors for their meritorious contributions to the development of the country.
Nathan Kwabena Edisi, popularly known as Bolare, whose media journey began some 25 years ago, took home the coveted CEO Excellence Awards, media category for leadership excellence at the Ghana CEO Excellence Awards 2024 in Accra. Receiving the award, the media titan, beaming with joy and gratitude for the honor done him, acknowledged the organizers and subsequently dedicated the award to the dedicated staff members of EIB Network.
Congratulations in order once again to our CEO. And so that's it for the news. My name is Lily Mohammed. For more news updates, kindly log on to starfm.com.gh. On behalf of the entire team led by Alice Aite Enin and Abdul Hanan Adam, we say thank you very much for watching. Have a good afternoon.